Hey friends, so before we start today, I want us all to do an exercise together just to get us started in this, what I am guessing is going to be shorter episode. So first thing we're going to do, I know you guys are probably sitting there with your project. We're going to set it down for a minute and we're just going to place our hands on our lap. And the first thing I want you to do is unclench your jaw. Unclench. Good. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to drop our shoulders and give them a nice roll back, right? We're sitting up a little bit taller. We're releasing that tension in our shoulders. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a collective deep breath all together, okay? 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Here we go. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Can you do one more for me? Excellent. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now that we're a pinch more relaxed, let's get into it. Take 101. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to find me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting, over on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft, and I set up a Blue Sky account, and that's possibly happening. I think I'm Piece4Peace over there. And yeah, if you like music and you would like to follow along to the playlist that goes with this podcast, you can do so by following me over on Spotify, or the playlist over on Spotify as Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast playlist. Normally at the end of these episodes, I put in some music that I chat about on here. But I haven't for a little while, but I have something today. Anyway, how is everyone doing? I feel like we are collectively at the point in January where it feels like this month has been 10 years long. I know that once we get into February, it is in full swing and basically it is the summer. So while I am trying to enjoy the reset and the slow pace of the month, I do recognize that it feels like it's been forever. Especially this past week, it's felt like it has been 7 weeks in one. It's crazy to think that we were observing Martin Luther King Jr. Day just 5 days ago. That seems preposterous. And Father Time is playing a trick on us. Anywho, good times, you all. So this episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter. If I'm being honest, the past 2 weeks for me have been a little bit busy, a little bit overwhelming, a little bit just me trying to, like I talked about a little bit in the last episode, find some focus and reset myself. And so with that, I haven't really done as much crafting as I would have liked to in the past 2 weeks, but instead of, Normally when that happens, I will take a hiatus from coming to hang out with you all here until I have a little bit more to show. But I thought since in the last episode I wanted to do a pass along, it would only be right if I came, even if it was for a short one, this week or this episode, just to say who those winners are, show a little bit of what I've been working on, something I finished, and yeah, that'd be better than not seeing you all for a month. So, with that being said, let's talk about all the things. So, first up, thank you to everyone who went over to Ravelry to sign up for wanting some of the pass along items. I'm going to show them again here as I say who the winners are. For me personally, it made it a little bit easier for me to go through just to look at the people who were interested in the things that I wanted to pass along. And so I've pulled some names and I am going to reach out to you. Once this is uploaded, I'm going to reach out to you all over on Ravelry to get your mailing address and things like that. And I will try to pop that in the mail on Monday or Tuesday of this week. I think I have a little bit of time where I can get that done just in between some classes that I have to go and teach. I think that for right now, until I find a better solution, that might be the way that I have to steer myself in doing these sort of pass along things, just because it just on my end, it made it really easy. If people do not get back to me within the time of the next video, I will just pull another winner from the list that's already there. The threads are closed, so whoever's already put their name in or said, give me that yarn, I will reach out to one of you if one of these lovely people do not get back to me. So the first thing we had were these 3 wonderful cakes of the Comfy Cotton Blend from Lion Brand. It's 50% cotton, 50% polyester, and I made a baby blanket using this, and that is going to go to Lori Knits 247. Woo, my dyslexia almost messed me up there. Lori Knits 247 over on Ravelry. This wonderful yarn is now yours. I will be reaching out shortly. Next up, we had, sorry if it's a little loud, just making sure everything stays in its bag. We had this lovely green yarn. It's looking a little black now. This beautiful green, sort of more heathered, variegated, I guess. Delave Superwash yarn. And this is gonna head out to Caffeine and Whimsy. Caffeine and Whimsy on Ravelry. These skeins are gonna be coming your way. And last up, we have the Barocco, which was the Pure Merino. 2, 4. This is 6, but there's a bunch of these. 16 of them. And that, I can show you that color. Oh Lord, they're falling all over the place. So this Barocco Pure Merino is going to, sorry to reach down, things are falling all over the place. That is going to be heading to X Topher CB. Again, X Topher CB over on Ravelry. So thank you again to everyone who reached out and said that they were interested in that little pass along. I have a couple more things. Don't worry, there's more coming. And that friend who I keep getting all this stuff from, she's like, please let me know if you need more. So we will help her clean out her closets, and I will gladly pass those things along to you. Again, all of those winners I will reach out to. And if you could just send me back and double check your name and where I can send it to, that would be great. And I will try to pop that in the mail this coming week. Okay, next thing is myself, the guys over at Fiber Hustle, and the guys over at Needles at the Ready are doing a From a Book Mal. This is a thing that we wanted to do. We cast on at the beginning of the year, and we wanted to just get the community together to make things from books, periodicals, so magazines, newspaper, whatever, some sort of book that we all have in our libraries. It can be knit, crochet, it can be whatever craft you want it to be. And some folks asked if there was sort of a chatter thread just so that other people could see what was going on. We did a Zoom. Wow, was that in the last time I talked to you all? We did a Zoom, which was really fun. We're planning on having more of those. But some folks wanted a chatter thread over in Ravelry. And so if you go to my Ravelry group, I'll try to remember to link that below. There is a thread in there for the MAU, and I think that everyone can just come on over, no matter what podcast you are watching, to share whatever it is that you're making. There's a couple people in there because I haven't really talked about it, so like, how would people know that it exists? But it is available for those that wish to pop in and just talk about what you're making or showing off things that you have made thus far. Even though we're only 3 weeks, which is crazy, 3 weeks into the year, there's already a couple pairs of socks in there, which is really cool. And a couple people have been using the hashtag from a book MAU over on Instagram. So follow in those two places if you wish. I think that is that. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So, like I said, I haven't been doing too much crafting, just cause there's been so much going on. And so I've really just been trying to keep my mental in good shape. And so I've been, listening to a couple books, which has been really good. I started reading a book on my Kindle, which has been really great. Listening to my records a little bit more, just like going on walks with the dog, like all the things just to like make sure I'm doing good. So with that, I did finish one thing and I have been working on one thing. And so I wanted to at least show you those, since that is something that I've done in the past 2 weeks. It's crazy that this is it. This seems very light for me. So the first thing I did, because I am on a kick of knitting my socks from tubes that I had previously cranked, I finished another pair. And so these, they are bright. These are another pair of socks. Some of you who have been here for a while, you may remember when I was in my old place, in my old place with my roommates, Kendrick, for a little bit, thought that he was going to learn how to knit. And he got a hold of this yarn when I first got him. And like, I was playing with it. I think he was trying to make a cowl for himself. And so I had untangled it, taken it to Rhinebeck that year, and cranked it into a tube. And so this is... I don't have the tag anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's Gnome Depot. I don't know what the makeup of it is, nor the colorway, because that band probably got pooped out at some point because Kendrick devoured it. And so these were cranked on an Erlbacher Gerhardt 64 stitch cylinder sock machine. And all I did was picked up for the toes, ripped back, and then I kept the yarn since I used the same color and just re-knit. And the amount that I pulled out for the toe was enough for me then to go in, not you falling over, was enough for me to go in and cut the heel and just do the heel. Like I didn't think that I'd rip back that much, but it was enough for me to just knit the heel and then knit the heel and then knit the toe as well. And then once I was done with that, I picked up on both for the cuff, and they're a little bit taller than these blockers. But I just picked up for the cuff and then unraveled again and then knit for a little bit. I did a 2x2 rib on these. That's kind of been my go-to lately. Normally I do a 1x1 twisted, but I've been enjoying the 2x2 lately. So these are great. They've been blocked. Yeah, I'm excited to have another pair of socks. Off the needles, I knit the heels, toes, and cuff on a US 1, so 2.25, using my Chowgu red lace needles. My hand knit gauge is the same as the 64 stitch gauge, and so it's easy for me just to pick up and, add those couple things in, and then I have another pair of socks completed. That's my only FO for this episode. And then the thing that I have slowly been working on a little bit in the evenings once I get home from work. I've been pretty exhausted, if I'm being honest. There's just been a lot going on. And so maybe I get a couple rows in and then I am like passing out right away. But that project is... Oh my gosh, is there a photo? Okay, this is in black and white, so it's not going to be as good to see, but I'm doing the Traveler Cowl by Andrea Mallory, and this is sort of a buddy make-along that I'm doing with Kevin from Needles at the Ready and Carrie of Carrie Makes Stuff. Oh no, not Carrie Makes Stuff. Carrie of the Creative Obsession. Anyway, that was weird that I said that. From the Creative Obsession, and we all spun up yarn and are going at our own pace, really, in making the Traveler Cowl. I think Kevin is already done with his. I know. Not me saying I think. Kevin is already done with his. I'm in the process of knitting mine, and I think Carrie is still working on spinning yarn for hers. And so it was very chill. We just all wanted to do the same project. Yeah, and it's been really great so far. So I have some hand spun that I'm using. This is sort of where I am from this cake. I have another one somewhere. Where would that be? Oh, I thought my little notebook was here, but 'tis not. The next time I show this, I will get you some numbers on here. And so this fiber was from Feederbrook Farms that I picked up while I was at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival this past year. Kevin and I actually got the same color. And if you watch Needles at the Ready, you will have seen his in their latest episode. And it is so, for me, it's so cool to see the difference in the way that he spun his and the way that I spun mine and the way that the cowls are ending up looking. So, where's the front? Here we go. Here is where I am with mine. Ooh. It's giving... Okay, first of all, check out my koala. I made that with Carrie. Oh, while we were at Flock this past year. So mine, the way that it's spun up, I did a 3-ply with my fiber, and it is giving very subtle fade into the different colors, which is really awesome. I love this little stripe of orange. I feel like there's another slight subtle one that's going to be coming up. But for the most part, it is going to be this blue-green color, which is great. And so, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm currently wearing the Traveler shawl, which I also knit up in my hand spun. And this was another great spin. I used 3 braids for this one. And it's one of my favorite things that I've knit, just because I made the yarn and I knit the project. And so, yeah, that's really cool. I love wearing it and people saying, oh, that's so nice. And then I get to tell them, oh, yeah, I made the yarn and I knit the object. So now that I sort of know the pattern and the gist of things because I've made the shawl. And The patterning is wonderful for the cowl as well. I mean, I've already done it, and so it's very easy to follow, and yeah, it's a little bit mindless. I mean, I still look at the pattern because I've been taking it. Well, I've been knitting it when it's really late, and so I'm like getting a little bit sleepy. And then the past couple days, I was taking it on the train with me because I didn't like those socks were done, and so I just take it on the train with me and work on it there while I was commuting. But I think this is going to end up being really lovely, and it makes me want to just do the other items that are in sort of this traveler series that she has. So there's a sweater and there's also a hat pattern. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm on the traveler train. It's been great. So this is how my cowl is coming. I have, if you have the pattern, I have gotten all the way up and through all of my increases. And so now I'm at the point where I am going to start decreasing, which means I have about, like, this hopefully should be done this week. I have about 60, a little over 60 rows left. So that's not going to take very long, especially since I am going to start decreasing, which means that it will start going a little bit faster because I'll have less stitches on the needles. Then I'll give it a nice little block, and it's seamed up the back. And so I know that some people have talked about not seaming it all the way so it lays a little bit better. I think I'm just going to wait and see what the fit is like, and then decide on if I'm going to do that little detail as well. Another thing about the pattern, since I am doing it in hand spun, this pattern is, I don't have the 2 pages, but it's written for, I do believe, a DK weight, and my hand spun ended up being about a fingering slight sport. And so I just went on to Ravelry and checked out some other folks' project pages and saw that they had knitted up in their handspun and it was a fingering, or they just used fingering weight. And so with that, I think the original pattern calls for a size 6 needle, and I'm using a 4. So I went down 2 sizes to accommodate for that, just because that was the information that people had suggested on Ravelry. And I think it's working out great. I love the fabric that it's making. I think it's going to be, I mean, it's still very squishy. I'm enjoying the feel of the BFL. Yeah, I think it's going to be really nice once it is complete. So hopefully in the next episode, you will see this done. And honestly, you all, that's kind of all I have. I've made a couple circles, or crocheted a couple circles for the 2 baby blankets that I need to finish. The other nugget that I'm making one for has arrived, and so I do need to just like get back on the ball of finishing those so that I can get those baby blankets out soon. Other than that, it has just been, like I said, a little bit of time for me to just take a breath and make sure that I am rested up so that I can show up in my fullest capacity for the people that I need to be showing up for currently, whether that's my students or some of our staff. I want to make sure that I am being my best self and showing up the best way that I possibly can for them. So the crafting has been a little bit slow, but it is still happening, which to me is the positive thing in that. I haven't, luckily, knock on wood, completely lost like my mojo. I'm still like, I need to be making something right now. So that is still happening, but it just has slowed down a pinch, and I'm hoping that it will start to pick back up again soon. I think that it will. The last thing that I am going to share with you all, told you all this was going to be a short one, is I'm just going to remove this. I have been going into my records a lot more lately, which has been really lovely since I have a ton. And it gives me something to do just to like help relax or to start my day. Like, over the long weekend, Monday morning, I spent the day just like listening to some classical music and just like doing things around the house, took the dog for a walk, like, yeah, very slow easing into the week. That seems like it was 5 years ago. And so with that, I thought that I would share one of the things that I was listening to, just because I thought that it was a lot of fun. So my music rec for this week is the Boston Symphony Orchestra's recording of Stravinsky's Agon. It's also a ballet that was choreographed by George Balanchine, for those of you who maybe are into dance. But this album also has 7 studies on the theme of Paul Klee. But my recommendation is going to be, and that's Schiller, but my recommendation is the Stravinsky piece of music that is on here. It is a 20-minute piece of music that I think is really beautiful. It's Stravinsky, so some of it is I don't want to say jarring. I feel like that's not the right word, but it can feel a little bit more abrupt. Those horns, they're doing their thing. So yeah, I will pop this into the playlist over on Spotify, so feel free to check that out. If you ever have trouble, or you want to follow that playlist and you have trouble finding it, you can always shoot me a direct message over on Instagram and I can send you the link over there. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do it here on YouTube, but I can send it over on Instagram. Anywho, with that being said, I hope everyone is doing what I'm doing and just taking a little bit of time for yourself to have that sort of mental reset as we move forward in the worlds that we are currently living in. And yeah, take time for yourself. It's okay to rest. I think sometimes we have been led to believe that resting is not being productive, when in all honesty, we need rest, otherwise we can't be productive. So be productive, rest, do something for yourself. It's okay. I'm giving you permission to. And with that, to all the folks that are winners, I will be reaching out to you shortly. So just look out for a message from me over on Ravelry. And yeah, I think that's it. With that, you all, I hope everyone stays in good spirits and you are finding a way to find rest for yourself. Remember, you can go over to the Ravelry thread if you are doing the From the Book Mal and check out the progress over there. Otherwise, if this is your first time watching, I haven't said this in a while, and you are enjoying this content, please feel free to do all that fun YouTube stuff, like, comment, and subscribe. For all the folks who continue to return and support, you already know how I feel. With that, you all, take care of yourselves. I will see you again in 2 weeks, and until I see you next time, make a peace, spread some peace.